California Psychics.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
Welcome in. It is the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX. The Cardinals end up losing tonight. They fall to the Houston Astros by a 2-0 score. My name is Matt Pauley, coming your way from Busch Stadium. As always, multiple ways to get in contact with the program. You can call or text 314-436-7900. That's 314-436-7900. If you want to tweet at me, you can do that at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or if you are watching the show on the video stream, we welcome in your comments, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, wherever you happen to be watching the program. You could just leave a comment, and we will get to as many as we possibly can as we go through the course of the program this evening. So the Cardinals end up losing today by that 2-0 score. I said this at the start of the network postgame show. This is baseball is a funny game, and the Cardinals have been a really, really good offensive club this season. They had a great offensive day yesterday, but yeah, tonight was just one of those days where they couldn't come up with that next hit, the big hit, the proverbial biggest hit of the game, and that's what they were missing. And I think every team has games like this. Last year and 2 years ago, the Cardinals had way too many games like this. And a lot has been made of what the Cardinals did hitting with runners in scoring position last year. So you want to avoid that being something that they do a lot. But it happens at times during the course of the season. So I don't think you get too overly worried about it. That's for sure. For one game only, you lament the fact that you couldn't come away with a win. You lament the fact that the team goes 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They leave 6 on base. Only had 6 hits. The 6 hits was the lowest number of hits that they've had so far this season. And it was just one of those days. And now they are in position, if they can win tomorrow, where they can potentially take the series and have a really, really good homestand going 4-2. So we'll see whether or not they're able to do that. Again, if you want to call or text in the program, the phone number is 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900, or tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air. You can leave a comment if you are watching on the video stream. Nick did that. He is watching on the YouTube channel, and he said, not that this matters because you aren't going to win every game, but why is Contreras back in the 2-hole, starts to see success, and now is back to where he struggled? I don't put much correlation to a guy struggling because of where he's hitting in the lineup. And maybe I'm wrong on that. And we can go see, especially like in the middle of the order, we can talk about a guy who's hitting, in the leadoff spot, or a guy who's maybe hitting in the 9-hole, or depending on where you're in the lineup and how much protection you have, things like that. So I'm not saying it doesn't impact things at all. But if anything, Contreras should actually have more success in the 2-hole because he has a little bit more protection sitting there behind him, especially in a guy right now in Brendan Donovan, who is swinging as hot of a bat as exists right now in Major League Baseball. You want to build a lineup and build a team that's going to have the most success over the long term, over the 162 games, right? And I agree with Oliver Marmol, who designs the lineup, that Wilson Contreras in the 2 spot makes all the sense in the world. He is your best hitter. No matter what he has done so far this year, Wilson Contreras is the best hitter on the team. He should be an all-star caliber, 30 home run kind of guy. It hasn't happened yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen at some point this time. So you build that lineup and you put him in that spot to have some success. I didn't think it was a big deal to take him out of that when he was struggling, but the team was scoring runs. I realized they moved him around a little bit. I think they did that more so for some other reasons as opposed to so much connected to Contreras. But Nick, I understand your point. Like, I think from an optic standpoint, I 100% see the point that you're trying to get to there. I just don't put a whole lot of anything into Contreras is struggling because he happens to be in the 2-hole. Text message from the 573 says, tough loss. It happens. Eric Fetty pitched great. The offense, not so much, even though they hit some ball hard. Just some people can go get the series tomorrow. Dorothy on Facebook says, hope they pick themselves up and go for a win tomorrow. Yeah, so it's one loss, and they've still got an opportunity to win the series against a pretty good Houston team. So we'll see if they are able to do that coming up in tomorrow's game. But, you mentioned Eric Fetty, and he was really good. This run of starting pitching that the Cardinals are getting right now is what they're doing right now with basically a 1 ERA. That's not sustainable. But just being a strength and being able to go out and every single time giving the team the opportunity to possibly win, I think that's the kind of rotation this is. And I'll be interested to see how good these guys can be as they continue to move forward. I thought Fetty did a nice job of mixing pitches today, threw a lot of sinkers. About half of his pitches were sinkers, and then about a quarter of his pitches were cutters and sweepers. Got a few changeups in there as well, just a few. But I liked the way he was able to mix the strikeouts. He got a few more of those today. He was able to get some swing and miss. His sinker got a couple swings. His cutter got a swing. His sweeper was able to get a swing and a miss as well. So yeah, he is. I have no problem with what Eric Fetty did today. And I think you combine this with his last start and you see a guy who's really starting round into form. I also thought it was interesting that in his post-game comments, if you heard those on the network post-game show, he said this is the first game that he really started to feel like that he had a good feel for his pitches. And he's coming off an outing his last time out against Pittsburgh where he threw 6 hitless, scoreless innings. So for him to say that this is the first game that he's really starting to feel it, I think that is that's notable, and he can be a real strength for the Cardinals if he continues to pitch at a really high level. Cardinals, they fall short today. They end up losing by a 2-0 score. Do want to remind you that the Extra Innings Show is presented by Gray Bar. Gray Bar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. For those of you who are watching, we welcome your comments on the various streaming channels. We also welcome your text messages and your phone calls at 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. As the Cardinals come up short, they lose to Houston tonight by a 2-0 score. We'll take a break, have more in just a moment. This is the Extra Innings Show on KMOX.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA, so we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman, and I'm here to tell you that Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries during the basketball playoffs with their extender. You can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost, and then just see what happens. Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections. I love playing Underdog. It's one of the fastest growing sports game apps. All you do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. It's that easy. You could turn $1 into $1,000 just with your basketball knowledge. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code TOM to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TOM. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
We are back at it here on KMOX, also streaming on all our video channels or social media channels, I guess would be the better way to say that. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever it might be. Hopefully, if you are somebody that watches videos online, you are subscribed to KMOX Sports on YouTube. And then anytime we go live, in addition to this show, the Extra Innings Show, we go live with Sports Open Line, with the Redbird Rush Hour, with the Gas House Gang. Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol did his weekly appearance on the Gas House Gang earlier today. I thought he was really good. And I look, I understand that there is a certain percentage of Cardinals fans that are not huge fans of Oliver Marmol. I would especially encourage those folks to take some time and listen in to those conversations that he has at 12 noon, 12 to 12:30 on Tuesdays, because you don't have to, you're not supposed to agree with everything he says. That's not the point here. I don't always agree with Oliver Marmol, but I've always said this. I've said it so many times. One of the things that I really appreciate about him is there's always a good reason for anything he does, and understanding that those, sometimes there can be good reasons for doing other things too. Like there's multiple paths that you can go. And just because maybe you would take a different path doesn't mean that you don't acknowledge the valid reason for the path that he takes. So listening to him in a little bit of a looser environment for 30 minutes every week, as opposed to just hearing his post-game comments, I think that would be a good thing for a lot of people out there who maybe have some misconceptions about the Cardinal skipper. So encourage you to listen to that. If you can't listen to it live, you can always go back and watch the video or listen to the podcast. However you like to consume your content, we certainly try to meet you there. Again, if you want to comment on the Cardinals game today, you've got an opportunity to do so by calling, texting, tweeting, or leaving that comment. You can call or text at 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air, or like I said, leave that comment there on the YouTube or Facebook or Twitter stream that you happen to be watching us. And we see those numbers continuing to move in an upward direction. So hello to everybody who's spending some time with us tonight. So the Cardinals, they get another really good starting pitching performance today, and Eric Fetty was really good, and they're in a run right now where this starting pitching has been nothing short of spectacular. And before this game even happened today, the starting rotation over the last 6 starts. So these are the numbers before Eric Fetty goes out today and throws 6 innings, giving up a run on 6 hits. That actually, the 1 run in 6 innings from Fetty, that actually ups the team starters ERA over the last 6 starts. Now 7 starts, including tonight, because the last 6 starts coming into this game today, the ERA for starters was 1, second during that span in Major League Baseball. They were getting 6 innings per start. That was tied for 3rd in Major League Baseball. 4 of those starts were considered quality starts, 2nd in Major League Baseball. Had given up just 14 hits. That was number 1 in Major League Baseball. The WHIP was .67, 1st in Major League Baseball. Batting average against 120, 1st in Major League Baseball. Had given up just 1 home run, tied for 1st in Major League Baseball. So this has been an incredible run that this team has been on. And now you are going to you're going to see this team go to the 6-man rotation. And not a lot changes. I think that's the that's the first thing that we should mention. They're going to this 6-man rotation to essentially keep the team on the same rest that starters have already been on. Something that Oliver Marmol said today when he was talking on the Gas House Gang, which I think was good for me to hear, because with the other day when Eric Fetty was taken out of the game, I was of the belief that he could have come in for another inning, but I presented all the reasons why I thought Oliver Marmol took him out when he did his last time through. What I didn't mention, and what Marmol talked about today, which is a really, really good point, Fetty is the only Cardinals starting pitcher this year to have pitched a game on, standard rest. They had enough off days that everybody was essentially on a 6-day rotation, except for that one start for Fetty. Now they go to the 6-man rotation. So from here on out, everybody is going to be on a 6-day or a 6-day, 6-man type rotation here moving forward. So the starting pitching has been really good, and how much credit goes to the fact that they've been getting extra rest. A lot of teams are getting extra rest in the first month of the season. The Cardinals are not the only team that get a bunch of off days, but that is something, as somebody who previously worked in Milwaukee and watched the Brewers go to a 6-man rotation the year that that Corbin Burns won the National League Cy Young Award. I saw some guys pitch at a really high level and have some of the best seasons that they've ever had. And I thought a lot of that was connected to the extra day of rest every single time through. Now, the cost of that is you're going to get less starts from Sonny Gray. If you have a 6-man rotation, and at some point in time, they may go back to a 5-man rotation. They haven't committed to sticking with the 6-man all season long. Right now, they are trying to do it as a way to avoid injuries, because pitching injuries are much more prevalent in the months of March and April, and then they start to dissipate a little bit in the month of May. So if you keep guys a little bit more rested in those first couple months of the season, and then you can kind of lock in after that, that's part of what they're trying to do. So they'll cite health, and I understand that. And something that Oliver Marmol talked about today is, they're in a spot where they don't have a lot of starting pitching depth. If they start losing guys, they don't have a whole lot to go grab. So just in terms of like numbers of guys, if this is a team that ends up starting 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different guys during the course of the season, they're in trouble. They are in trouble. Right now, they've got 6 starters on the Major League roster. You have Michael McGreevy at AAA, and a lot of fans want to see McGreevy with the big league club right now. And then you have Quinn Matthews, who's currently on the injured list, and there's no clear path on when he is going to return. The Cardinals have not said how severe the injury he is dealing with and what the timetable is for his return. So essentially, there's one guy that you're probably very comfortable with bringing up from AAA in Michael McGreevy, and that's part of the decision with Miles Michaelis. And I've mentioned this before. A lot of people thought that Michaelis shouldn't have been in the rotation to start the season, and that Michael McGreevy should have been. Well, if you make that decision, you have to move on from Michaelis pretty much completely. And then all of a sudden, if you run into injuries or anything, the little depth that you have with Michaelis, you have none of that now. So that's where they're at. They're going to go to the 6-man rotation. They're going to try to keep guys healthy. It is of the utmost importance this year that this team is able to get as many starts as possible out of the starters that are there, just so that they don't have to go deep into the depth that really doesn't exist right now at AAA beyond one guy, and Michael McGreevy would be 2 guys once Quinn Matthews kind of gets going. But they want Matthews. That's the bummer of Matthews going on the injured list. They wanted him to get to AAA and have some extended success there before he gets to the big leagues, because last year at the end of the season when he went to AAA, he kind of ran out of gas there. So it'd be good to see him have some success there before getting the opportunity in the big leagues. Henry has a comment via YouTube, says, "Can't win them all. If we're going to lose, this is a loss where I am not frustrated. Love how Ali used the pen. The diehards were out tonight." Yeah, well, it was a friends and family kind of night from an attendance standpoint. I will say that I hate the attendance conversation. Like, my belief here is Cardinals keep winning games. Cardinals keep playing good baseball. Cardinals keep doing things where they are entertaining. The fans are going to come. I don't want to, there are some fans who are kind of taking a victory lap on the attendance, and it's just not really a conversation that I'm overly enthused to be a part of. I think it will just kind of organically fix itself if the Cardinals again both win games and play an entertaining brand of baseball. But and look, when the Cardinals are really, really good, it doesn't matter what the temperature is. It doesn't matter if there's school tomorrow. It doesn't matter if there's a big game going down the street. So I'm not trying to like make excuses. I'm well aware of the fact that when life's really good for the St. Louis Cardinals, fans are showing up no matter what. All that being said, it was a cold night, and I'm sure there were some people who made the decision to be down the street and watch the St. Louis Blues. And congratulations to the Blues for winning tonight and clinching a spot in the playoffs. It's a really, really cool accomplishment for Jim Montgomery and that team, or even people who just made the decision to stay home so they could watch the Blues on TV and maybe watch the Cardinals on TV and that sort of thing. So yeah, not a great attendance night. We haven't seen great attendance, but I think those numbers are going to come up. I actually saw kind of some groundswell support on social media yesterday from some people on social media who are saying, you know what? You might be unhappy with some things in the organization. You might not be a huge fan of John Mozeliak. You might not be a huge fan of Oliver Marmol, but this is a group of players that are really playing hard, and they're worth going out and supporting. I think some of that was in support of or in reaction to the comments made by Wilson Contreras. So good to see that. And I hope more fans, if you're not coming to the games, I would encourage you to do so, because tonight notwithstanding, this is a team that certainly is playing a fun, entertaining brand of baseball. Nick sends in a message, says, what does this team do if they finish at or around 500? Do they run it back again? It's not like they have a bunch of killers in waiting. It's a good question. So I guess part of that would be, are they a playoff team? If they're, there's going to be some playoff teams that get in probably in the neighborhood of 500. In fact, the winner of the NL Central is likely to be in the neighborhood of 500. 84, 85, 86, 87 wins, probably wins the division this year. If there's any team that's going to exceed that, it's probably the Cubs, as much as I hate to say those words. But does it, if they make it to the postseason, what do you do? I do think, look, I like the young guys on this team. I'm high on Lars Nootbaar. Young guys in the sense that they're not the overly established veterans. Like we apply the young title too often to the Nootbaars and the Donovans of the world. They've been around for a while. They're just not like super veteran dudes. So I'm going to, outside of Wilson Contreras and Nolan Arenado, like all the other guys, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I like the group. I like Lars Nootbaar. I like Brendan Donovan. I like Jordan Walker. I'm curious on Nolan Gorman, and I think it's been a good start for him this season. I mean, dude's hitting 313. Maybe the power hasn't completely come around there. I like the young catchers. I like Victor Scott II, I like Mason Wynn, obviously. So I think there's a lot of reasons to like this young core. Now, to your point, what's coming around the bend? Well, they gotta figure that out. And there are some pieces that are there to be excited about, I think. But like the guy that you might be most excited about is Jimmy Crooks. He's a catcher. I don't know if that's not exactly an area of need for this team right now. They've got young catchers in Ivan Herrera and Pedro Paz. I didn't even mention Herrera earlier. Another guy to be very excited about. But yeah, that's look, but JJ Weatherholtz, he's a killer on the way, right? That's a dude. We'll see what Chase Davis is going to look like here as he continues to go. They've got the number 5 pick in the draft this year. That's somebody who is likely to be moving very quickly through the system as well. The Extra Innings Show is being presented by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. What's on Deck is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign, you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. Cardinals and Astros wrap up the series coming up tomorrow. It's going to be Steven Matz on the mound for the Cardinals tomorrow. His first start, no record, and a 1.93 ERA. Right-hand pitcher, Ronel Blanco, he is set to make the start for the Astros. He is 1-1 with a 6.94 ERA. 12:15 first pitch tomorrow. That means we're going to be on with pregame. Tom Ackerman is at 11:20 tomorrow morning. Some brunch and baseball as we get set for the start just after 12 noon. 12:15 is the start time tomorrow. Cardinals lose to the Astros 2-0. The series is now even at 1 game apiece. Rubber game of the match coming up tomorrow. Thanks for being tuned in. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on KMOX.
Mechanical engineer for IENG LLC in Granite City, Illinois. Design, evaluate mechanical manufacturing, fabrication, production, modification, installation, feasibility, costs, integration, malfunctions, collaborate with teams. Autodesk AutoCAD, Revit, Microsoft Office. Requirements, bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering.